Hey Billy, how are you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. So you've got a lot going on at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, I
Doing
have at the
property and
moment.
everything. Yeah. So good to get a chance to talk to you.
No, 100%.
Yeah, sorry. I've got to get my notebook out just in case I needed some questions.
No, that's fine.
So yeah, so how long have you been in the Samuel Leeds Academy at the moment?
So I joined the academy 4 months ago now.
4 months ago. Nice.
Yeah.
How have you found it?
Yeah, no, it's been really well. So I spent like the
Yeah.
first month sort of like trying to get educated, networking a lot, and like making the right connections with the people that I needed for the plan that I wanted to go down. And
Yeah.
then the past 3 months has just been starting to execute the plan.
Did you know what the plan was when you started the academy, or were
No,
you
so
just
I actually didn't.
working it out?
So yes, I was sort of just working it out. So how I originally started is how most people do start. You start off at the £1 crash course. From
Yeah,
there, I done the financial freedom challenge. First day of the financial freedom challenge, I signed on to the academy, and then yeah, it just sort of went from there really. And then
yeah,
I just spent the process of like meeting people who were going to be beneficial to me. For example, like Fintan O'Malley, Damien Cheeseman, Hannah Wiggins, they've been a great help. And then
yeah.
just spamming loads of mentor calls. And then I had a bit of money sitting there ready to play with. So then I
Mm,
was like, all right, I'll take on some essays. And then when I was actually properly digging into the essays, it was just like, for what I'm gonna put in, so what I'm gonna get out, it's just like I'd rather go bigger scale, and then
mm.
that's what led me to go down the hotel route.
Yes, so you've got a hotel. Um, if you don't mind, I'll unpack a little bit before we get into the hotel because that's really
Hmm.
exciting. Um, you were speaking to a few of the experienced people on the academy, Hannah, Damien, and who's the other guy? Finton.
Finton,
I've not had
yeah.
the pleasure to meet him yet. Um, but yeah, how have they helped you along the process?
So I essentially sort of like been speaking to them like they was the mentors essentially, because sometimes it's like as much as the mentor calls are brilliant, but sometimes they're a bit hard to get like the specific person you need to speak to, if that makes
Yeah,
sense, within the
yeah,
time frame. So it was like Damien's been on for 2.5 years, Finton's been on for a year, Hannah's been on for 2 years. So it's just like they've really got the knowledge, and it's just like now I'm really got a good relationship with them on a friendly level. So it's like I've got
yeah.
mentors on speed dial, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is the great thing about it, isn't it? Because you've
Yeah.
obviously they advertise you can get mentorship,
Yeah, no,
unlimited mentorship.
100%.
But the community that you build, they are also your mentors because
100%.
people want to pull you up in this community. It's really nice, isn't it?
100%. At the end of the day, everyone wins.
Yeah,
So, like, for example, when I'm winning in my situation, other people are winning as well.
yeah. And what was I going to say? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
21.
21. Awesome.
Yeah.
So when I first met you, you were talking about starting your own inner circle. Is that
Yes.
right? And
Hmm.
how's that gone?
Yeah, no, it's gone really well. So we've had two events now, and then obviously the end of year event, which was recent. Our
Mm.
first guest speaker was Tony Crook. We had
Yeah,
a
big
turnout
name.
roughly of about 18, 19 people.
That's good.
And then our next one was Damien Cheeseman. We had about 20 odd people there. So we
Another big
always have in
names.
the regions of like 20 odd people. Yeah,
Yeah.
so and then we had our Christmas do in Maidstone joint up with Gravesend and Orpington.
Hmm.
And that was pretty nice, to be fair. Dr. Minho, he done a lovely job of organising questions and quiz games, etc. It was really good. And then also from there, we have got Camden, I believe, scheduled in for next month.
Brilliant. Yeah. They're all really big names doing great things in property, right?
100%.
And so yeah, let's get into the hotel then. So how did
Okay.
you come about acquiring the hotel? Let's go.
So essentially, I used leverage Damien Cheeseman. So he was the deal sourcer essentially in the situation.
Yeah.
We paid him the reservation fee for the deal, and then from there, from getting the keys to going live was about 3 months because we had to do a refurb as well.
Okay.
So there
And
was
who managed?
works that was needed.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Who
go on.
managed that?
Manage what?
The refurb.
So we had Finton as a project manager to help us along
Mm.
the way. Essentially, he was like our man on the ground because he lives in Manchester, which
Okay.
is only an hour from Blackpool, whereas for me it's about 5 hours.
Yeah. Because you're based
So
down in Kent, right?
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I'm based in Gravesend. So for
Okay.
us, I was still traveling there to and fro practically every weekend throughout that time period because there was
Oh.
bits where we saved, for example, because I'm an electrician by trade, I've done all the electrical work there, etc. And then anything like general labor wise, like taking out the old beds, the old mattresses, etc., we done that.
Mm.
So it was more of a process of just chipping away at it, having the correct schedule of works and the correct power team in place to be able to execute it. But when I was speaking to Damien's management company, they also said the time frame that we managed to complete the works in was very good as well.
Okay, great. Yeah. Because that's something that not a lot of people account for when you have to factor in your return on investment, your annual return on investment. You might have a 3 month period where you're not making any money,
Yeah,
right?
no, 100%. So we had a 1 month's rent-free period, and
Yeah.
obviously that ran out, and then it's cost us 2 months of rent
Mm.
between obviously me and my JV partner Tommy. Um, but since opening, it's done really well so far. So I can't. It swings and roundabouts at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to come on to Tommy as well. How is your he's your JV partner and sort of uh
Yeah,
has he been a
correct.
partner in a lot of other business that
No,
you've
so
done so far?
me and Tommy just have the hotel together. However, I have got more good news that you'll be delighted to hear as well.
Good, yeah, because I when I first met you, you and Tommy Tommy Perkin, isn't it?
Yes, that's the one.
Tommy, yeah. So you and Tommy Perkin were together talking about starting the inner circle. That was just before, and it's
Hmm.
in Canterbury, if I'm not mistaken.
Canterbury, yeah.
Canterbury, yeah, brilliant. And that was how many months into the academy were you at that point?
One.
1 month into the academy, and you and Tommy were
Yeah.
talking about starting an inner circle, which is a big move. So clearly you were
The main reason
in the
why I
academy to
wanted
win.
to, yeah, 100%, that was literally what I was going to say. The main reason why I wanted to start the inner circle was, for one, it puts your name out there a bit more. And the reason
100%.
why I wanted the hotel was because cash flow wise, it's a no-brainer. And also, it's practically the same as an essay, but it's just an essay on steroids, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's when you're noticed by people, the person who's got a hotel is more noticed than the person who's got essays.
That's true.
So
Because I could
it just
have,
pushes you out there a bit further.
yeah, I could have 10 essays, but you could have a 20-bed
Well,
hotel,
yeah,
and then,
our hotel's 14 beds, and it's the
yeah.
equivalent to what it earns to about five essays.
Okay.
But there'd be five decent essays.
Hmm. Yeah, brilliant. And it's based in Blackpool, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. We're literally just outside Coral Island on a road called Albert Road.
Okay, nice. And can you tell me a little bit because I think a lot of people are skeptical about the market in Blackpool. How have you
Yeah.
found it? What is the differences, if there is any? Why are people skeptical? And why did you decide to go
Okay,
forward with it?
so
And it's like
with Blackpool
touchy
as a whole,
subject.
everyone thinks that it's a ghost town, like it's really dead. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not seasonal because it can be.
Yeah,
However, you've got to understand as well, Blackpool's always been a place for stag do's, hen do's, big group outings and stuff like that. And also to top that, recently it's been approved for £350 million worth of redevelopment.
really.
So, yeah, so the tenders have been won for that work this year. So the work should start in, let's say, the next 18 months. However, we're not relying on that for our bookings. Our bookings are purely tourists, people with events going on in the area. For example, when there's an event in Winter Gardens, let's say. most hotels get booked up really fast.
Right, right.
But that's why your location is very key in Blackpool. So there's
Okay.
certain pockets where you need to be situated. Not that if you're not in them pockets, you won't do well. You just won't thrive as much as someone else.
Okay, interesting. That's good to know. So you said it's seasonal, but again, you've got events like the Winter Gardens, which obviously
Correct.
is the opposite end of the season.
It's very locational dependent. So, for
Nice.
example, where we are, we're in the middle of Coral Island, Winter Gardens, and then Blackpool Towers here as well. The
Mm,
only sort of tourist place that we're a bit far from is Pleasure Beach. But that's not a
right.
problem because we've got three of the biggest attractions right next to us.
So that's what you need to gauge when you're looking at Blackpool.
Yeah.
What is the big thing that people are going to go to and why they're going to stay at your place? And
Yeah, 100%.
is it within that catchment? Right. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I'm asking for everybody, but also for slightly selfish reasons because I've been looking up in Blackpool myself.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we viewed a hotel up there not too long ago. We potentially source it out, or we'll take
Hmm.
it on if we can find the investor. We've got, you know, some potential investor, but still up in the air at this stage. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, it's great to pick your brain on that. Awesome. So, what is you've teased a little bit about what's coming next. So, you've piqued my
Okay.
curiosity. So, can we get into that?
So I've recently secured another JV partner
Mm.
where they're going to fund the project. I'm going to find a project, get everything set up and manage it. So from there, essentially, I'm taking on another hotel with no money down on my side.
Oh, nice, nice. And do
So
you
yeah.
know, have you got a hotel in mind already?
I've got a few leads currently at the moment.
Right.
However, nothing's currently concrete, but it is going to be within the Blackpool area again.
Oh, great.
Just just because sort of your barrier of budget depends on location, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's say
Interesting.
for like a decent hotel, you need 40, 50K
Yeah.
to make it solid.
Yeah. Because there's different ways of acquiring a hotel. So, I suppose I don't know if some people think of hotels as buying the building and then uh,
The only
maybe you can
reason
get a
why
commercial mortgage.
yeah, no, 100%. The only reason why I personally wouldn't the buy the hotels is because we're just using them as cash cows essentially.
Yeah.
So the way that I look at it is I'm happy to rent it for the fact of it keeps the startup cost down lower because you haven't got a big deposit to put down, etc.
Mm.
So that's for one. So it's lower money down at the start for the same outcome, if you get what I mean, for the
For
same
the same
result in the
cash
cash
flow,
flow.
yeah. So,
Exactly my point. So
yeah.
then also with that, the capital appreciation in Blackpool isn't the best as well.
Right, I see. That's a good point. So there's not much point in buying in Blackpool, but you can rent the hotel. And
That's my personal opinion, yeah.
yeah,
So
really,
essentially,
it's quite a unique area. I mean, you can do that anywhere,
yeah,
but a lot of places wouldn't rent you the hotel without good reason, except Blackpool.
100%.
And yeah, so
But
what kind of
also
money? No, carry on.
Also, that one of the big reasons why there is so many hotel deals popping up in Blackpool, etc., currently right now, is because the council are also clamping down a lot on the area. So,
Right.
for example, if the let's say the leaseholder has got an out-of-date EICR or a gas safe cert, they're clamping
Okay.
down on all that. So, if the works isn't being complete, they're either saying you have to pay for the works to be done or leave. It's as simple as that. So everyone's sort of
Mm.
getting forced out in a way because it's like, have you got the money to do the repair work? If you haven't, then you've got to go. That's why a lot of these deals are popping up currently.
So that's interesting. So where other people are getting stressed by the amount of pressure being put on them to become compliant,
Precisely.
it
It,
leads in for people like you to come in as an investor with your investor hat on and say, okay, I can get somebody to put the money into that, and then I'll take some of the money, give them
precisely
what
my
they
point.
deserve, and then that's
Hmm.
brilliant. So that's why the market's moving so fast over there. They're
100%.
putting a lot of pressure on it, which is really good, I think, because looking at the area, there are a lot of rundown buildings.
hmm
And if people can't run them like that anymore, then it forces everybody to improve
And
their
I mean,
standards.
the thing is, there's a lot of competition in Blackpool. There's over 400 hotels.
Yeah.
So you've really got to stand out in the fact of location. Is your building kept clean 24/7? Is it nice? Is it nicely furnished? How are you going to be different from the rest? And that is the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And what is that? You said the councils are putting a lot of money and putting a lot of pressure into the area, which sounds
hmm
great. Do you know what that, you said £350 million is
Yeah,
being
correct.
spent in Blackpool. Do you know what that's going on?
I believe there's talks of either a Marriott hotel or a university. I believe
Oh,
that's not for 100% though, but that's what I've currently heard.
oh, that's interesting. Very different ends of the spectrum. It could be potentially both for that kind of money. But I suppose a bigger hotel would. I don't know if that would be good for you or for the market, but then a university might be good.
hmm
So
To
we've
be
got to be
honest,
interesting.
I've sort of found the sweet spot is between 8 and 20 beds, if
Okay.
that makes sense. However, if you do get like directly outside Winter Gardens or directly outside the pleasure beach, then you could probably stretch it to 30.
30 beds if you're
hmm
really close. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Why would you not want to have higher number of rooms, higher number of beds?
Purely for the reason of your outgoings are going to be a lot more. So when as much as it's great in the few weeks of the peak season, you'll be earning brilliant money. But then you also got to think about when it comes down to low season, and then your expenses are a lot more higher as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot more area to keep clean, and then
Mm-hmm.
if your occupancy is low because you're not near anything,
100%.
any good events, then yeah, you're not gonna use those rooms. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's really interesting. So let's see what we get onto. I've been asking everybody this question just to stick to a sort of theme with our the chats that we have on this podcast. How can somebody like me with no money? You all right?
Sorry, 2 seconds. Bear
No
with me.
worries.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry about that. So
So
my dad locked himself out.
all right, no worries. So how can somebody with no properties to the name and limited amount of finance get started go about getting into a hotel business? If you had to summarize
Sorry,
it
can you repeat
from
that,
start to
please?
finish. Yeah, of course.
Um, so so if you have no money, no properties, um, so how I would sort of advise that is for like someone for myself, for example, a big thing how I was able to secure the JV was because I already have the hotel,
Right.
for example.
Yeah.
So so I don't actually know, to be honest. The only way that I can sort of see that is by massively putting yourself out there, going networking all the time, and also gaining as much knowledge as possible. And don't just go hunting for the JV, just drop knowledge as much as you can on people.
Yeah. Interesting. So you've managed to get this second deal with no money down of your own
hmm
because you've already got a hotel. So once you get one, it snowballs. But for a lot of people, maybe like
Yeah,
myself,
sort of. So currently,
we got to get
so
that
the
one.
JV situation was that precisely. So how I can sort of give you advice going off what I done was, so I put posts out on Instagram of my hotel opening, how we've done, etc. and stuff like that. And then I even put a post out about our bookings as well. And then from there they reached out to me and was like, "Oh, you're gonna be at this end of year event?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there." And then we had a chat when we was there. Long story short, they've got money. They've been on the academy for 4 months, I believe, or 3 or 4 months,
Yeah.
but they just haven't really got the confidence, the team, or the knowledge to be able to execute it by themselves. So I said,
Right.
what you've got, what you haven't got, I've got, and what I haven't got, you've got. So this is
That's
how we could sort of structure it.
so that's the
And then
perfect JV, isn't it? Yeah.
Precisely my point. So from there, we've obviously created the business, got the JV contract signed, and then
Mm.
we're just looking for the deal to execute now.
I wonder if you'd be interested in the one I'm looking at. That's maybe something we could talk about a little bit later.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. That was brilliant. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to put yourself out there about your business, about where you're based, what you'd like to provide to the community?
Yeah, so currently, alongside doing the hotels as well and JVing with people, I'm also doing a bit of deal sourcing currently.
Yep.
Currently I've got a block deal available in Manchester. It's a two bed, two baths, apartments in the M30 area. Very good deal. It's live on Deal Connect right now as well.
It's on Deal Connect as well.
hmm
Nice, because I saw you send that to a few of the group chats, and I'm thinking, surely that's got to go fast. Because am I right in saying there was no deposit?
No deposit, no guarantor required, and it's turnkey as well.
So, so six apartments in the same block in Manchester
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
no deposit and it's turnkey.
hmm
How is that not sold
Correct.
already? Have you
Say
had
that
a
again.
lot of have you had a lot of inquiries?
We've had a few, but to be fair, no one's been really serious, if that makes sense.
That's bizarre, isn't it?
So,
Maybe it's because
yeah,
it's
literally. And the
Christmas.
thing is, it's a really good deal. I just think it's the wrong time,
Yeah,
possibly, if that makes sense.
yeah.
However, I did have an investor call today. They're going to get back to me later this evening to put an offer in. And then I've got another investor call scheduled for later this evening as well.
Good to know. Nice. Yeah, maybe it's just because it's Christmas and people are sort of putting their feet up a little bit. Um,
Possibly, yeah. However, also one more thing as well. I could potentially be looking to do a BRR no money down as well in the new year.
how are you managing that?
So same again, an
Yeah.
investor, and I'm going to JV with someone from the academy as well who's got a build team. So essentially, I'm bringing the investor, so I'm bringing the funds, he's bringing the build team, and we're just going to lend the funds from the investor at a fixed return rate, and then from there, we're just going to execute the deal.
Oh, great. And may I ask what sort of return that you offer for that investor?
15% annually.
15%. Yeah,
hmm
and that's completely hands off for them. And
Completely.
I'm looking at structuring these myself, so I'm just a little bit interested. So is that going to be for how many years?
12 months.
Just 12
So
months.
it'd
And
be 15% per annum. So if
yeah,
we overrun by 6 months, we owe them another 7.5%
yeah,
of
and they get
interest.
all their money back after the amount of
Yeah,
time. That's brilliant. Well,
correct.
you've got a lot going on, and I really need to spend more time around people like yourself, trying to do some of these deals like this. It's really impressive. So yeah, is there anything else we can go about talking? We've got a little bit of time.
To be honest, that's all
Otherwise,
I've sort of really been up to. Like,
yeah,
one of my biggest things is definitely the network. So I
yeah,
at least go to one in a circle a week minimum. Last week I went to three. So,
damn.
and it doesn't matter where they are. I've been to Hull. I go to the ones further away as well. I want to make it my mission to at least go to every inner circle once,
Yeah,
minimum.
I'd like to do that as well. There's some up in
hmm
Glasgow, and I've got family there, and I'm trying to hit that one, but just not found the time.
hmm
But yeah, that's pretty inspirational. So if I could summarize, you joined the academy 4 months ago. You started your inner circle with your business partner Tommy in
Yep.
Canterbury. You've got three big names already, and you've got a hotel in Blackpool, which you worked with Damien Cheeseman to get, and you've got
Correct.
from that you secured another JV partner for another hotel, which you're looking to
hmm
decide. You don't even have the deal at the moment. You
No,
just
so
somebody
currently
just
right
wants to work
now,
with you.
yeah, that's literally what I was gonna say. So right now they're sold on me. So they have faith in me because they've seen what I've done with my own funds.
Yeah,
So essentially the best way to sell it is I've done this with my money. I've put my money where my mouth is. Do you want a
Yeah,
slice of the pie?
yeah. That's how to convince people at the end of the day, isn't it?
Precisely.
Yeah, I've had that before as well with somebody. They said they've got a deal, and it's like a crazy good deal, 12K profit per month. And then I was like, okay, let's see, maybe I'll JV with them. And then turns out that they were going to buy the deal. And when it's like, okay, I thought you were going to put your money into this deal, and we were going to do it together because then I'd have trust in it. But they've not seen the deal. They're not putting their own money into it. It does get you a little bit more skeptical. So
Hmm.
yeah, there's a balancing act to play with finding JV partners, isn't there?
No,
Um,
100%. At the end of the day,
yeah,
it's got to be someone who you can work with long term as well, because
mm,
it's not a 2 minute wonder at all. Because the minimum lease you're signing is 5 years for these
yeah,
hotels. So you're locked in with them for quite a while. So you got to make sure that you're both compatible and on the same page.
yeah. I've heard Samuel say it's a little bit like a marriage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Like as much as you don't need to speak every day. For example, me and Tommy, we don't need to speak every day, but when we speak, we're on the same page. It's done. I'll give you a prime example. We actually had something happen last night. We had 16 guests stay at our hotel, and one of them decided to kick a door down.
oh man.
So
So
yeah, it's just things like that. But then
how'd you
obviously
resolve that?
we just go through Airbnb, submit the photos, send them an invoice, and we get the payment paid.
Right, and they pay for it, the perpetrator.
Yeah, correct. So either their card will get charged or Airbnb will pay out and then charge them.
That's good. So you got to have these systems in place. That's really good.
Yeah, no, 100%. But at the end of the day, if you're having a hotel where you're going to rent the whole building out, you've got to allow for these things to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you don't mind, I really appreciate you
Hmm.
coming on. I'm going to stop the recording. And maybe I'll talk to you again for like a little 5 minutes longer, if that's all right.
Yeah, no, that's no problem.
All right, it's been a pleasure having you on, Billy. Thank you so much. Anything
Perfect, no
else to
problem.
sign off?
No, that was it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Amazing, thank you.